Most men think attraction is about saying the right thing, having the perfect timing, or delivering the smoothest line. But the truth is, none of that really matters. Because real attraction isn't built on words, it's built on presence. The men who truly draw people in don't chase. They don't overthink. They don't perform. They move with quiet certainty. They speak few words, but every one of them carries weight. There are two words that separate the men who hope for connection from the men who command it. Two words that shift you from seeking validation to owning your truth. Those words are simple, yet most men never use them with conviction. I want. You've heard endless advice telling you what to text, what to say, how to act. But deep down, you already know that confidence isn't built from tricks. It's built from clarity. And clarity begins when you stop softening yourself to please others and start speaking your truth calmly and directly. Most men lose respect, not because they're weak or unkind, but because they refuse to own their desires. They speak like they're asking for permission. They hide what they want behind politeness. They trade truth for approval. And every time they do, they lose a little more of their power. But when a man stands tall, looks someone in the eye, and speaks with calm certainty, everything changes. The energy in the room shifts, not because he said something clever, but because his presence tells the truth. He doesn't need to be liked, only to be understood. When you say I want with honesty and control, you're not demanding. You're declaring. You're taking ownership of your direction. And that's what draws people toward you, not arrogance, but clarity. Think about it. When someone knows what they want, you feel it. You pay attention. You might not agree with them, but you respect them. That's what women respond to. That's what the world respects. Because confidence isn't loud. It's calm. It doesn't beg to be seen. It simply stands still and lets others feel it. Most men live like passengers in their own story. They wait for permission, from society, from relationships, from the world, to move. But the moment you say I want, you stop waiting and start leading. Saying I want doesn't make you selfish. It makes you conscious. It reminds you that your desires are valid, your direction matters, and your voice carries meaning. Because a man without wants is a man without fire. He may be kind or loyal, but if he has no direction, he becomes invisible. When you know what you want, your presence changes. Your body moves with intention. Your voice slows down. Your energy steadies. You don't have to prove yourself anymore, because you're aligned with yourself. That's real strength. That's real masculinity. There's a difference between being polite and being passive. Politeness says, I value others. Passivity says, I don't value myself. The world rewards the first but punishes the second. When you're too agreeable, too uncertain, you send a message that your desires don't matter. And every time you do that, your confidence fades. So the next time someone asks you what you want, don't hide behind, I don't mind, or whatever you want. Say it calmly. Say it with presence. I want this, not to control the outcome, but to honor your truth. Because every time you say what you mean, you strengthen your voice. Every time you hesitate, you weaken it. Women feel this instantly. They can sense whether your energy is grounded or unsure. A man who knows what he wants doesn't need to chase. He attracts naturally because his direction makes others feel safe. He doesn't control anyone. He leads himself. And that leadership is magnetic. Let's be real. Confidence isn't built by saying affirmations in the mirror. It's built when your actions match your words. When you say, I want, and follow through, even in small things, your mind starts trusting you again. You begin to believe yourself. That's what real power feels like. The quiet knowing that you can rely on your own word. Start small. Say, I want to wake up early, and do it. Say, I want to get in shape, and move your body. Say, I want peace, and create boundaries that protect it. Because discipline is just desire expressed through action. When you practice I want, you're not trying to control outcomes. You're aligning your inner compass. You're saying, I'm responsible for my life. That's the kind of energy that changes everything around you. You've probably been taught to avoid wanting too much, to stay humble, to not sound demanding. But wanting doesn't make you arrogant. It makes you alive. The Stoics never said to kill desire. They said to master it, to refine it, not erase it. Because when you stop wanting, you stop living. A strong man wants deeply, but not desperately. He desires without attachment. He can say, I want this, but even if he doesn't get it, he remains whole. That's emotional mastery. That's masculine peace. Your words have energy. You can say I want and sound needy, or you can say I want and sound certain. The difference isn't vocabulary, it's vibration. Calm, grounded tone communicates confidence. Rushed, tense tone communicates fear. That's why presence matters more than words. People don't just hear what you say, they feel who you are. A man who speaks from stillness commands attention without raising his voice. His calmness becomes his power. So before you say I want, take a breath. Slow down. Feel your body. When your energy is still, your words carry depth. You don't have to force confidence. It flows naturally when your mind, body, and intent are aligned. You can't fake presence. You can't fake calm authority. It comes from knowing who you are and trusting that truth in every situation. That's why the calmest man in the room always holds the most power, not because he's louder, but because nothing owns him. Not fear, not ego, not rejection. He controls himself. When you say I want from that place, it doesn't sound like a request. It sounds like a statement of purpose. You're not begging life to give you something. You're declaring who you are and where you're going. And when you live that way, the world adjusts to your vibration. People treat you differently. Opportunities appear. Relationships become deeper. Because your clarity gives others permission to be clear too. That's the secret most men never learn. Attraction, success, and respect all begin with direction. The moment you stop chasing and start choosing, everything changes. You stop trying to convince others of your worth. You simply embody it. So from now on, use I want consciously, not to demand, not to control, but to declare. Say, I want peace. I want growth. I want purpose. Say it calmly. Say it clearly. Say it like you mean it. Because the moment you do, you remind yourself who you are. You are not your past. You are not your failures. You are not what others think of you. You are what you choose to pursue every day. And those two words, I want, are the beginning of every transformation. Because when a man truly knows what he wants, he stops drifting. He stops apologizing. He starts leading. And that kind of energy, that quiet certainty, is what makes you unforgettable. This is Mind Hack Stoic. If this message resonates with you, take a breath, stand tall, and say it out loud. I want peace. I want purpose. I want respect. Let that be your declaration, not to the world, but to yourself. Because everything you seek begins with two words spoken with truth. I want.